Tommo, so when I was 2 years old, you began your broadcasting career, and it's been a long, distinguished career. On the eve, you're about to turn 75, if I may say, and you're looking great for it. We're on the eve of your
Thank you.
birthday, but it must have been a glorious time with all that you've done from the days of when you started your
Mm.
broadcasting through until your times of becoming a commentator, your time at ITV with John McCurrick and being part of a very popular program and that. You've got to look back on your distinguished career, sir, and turn around and say you've done well.
Oh, thank you so much. And coming from you two, that is praise indeed. It's so nice. I was commentating at Southall the other day, and there was a race named after me, the Derek Thompson Retirement Stakes, and it was nice. And people were coming up wanting selfies and autographs and saying, "I remember you," blah blah blah, and it almost brought a tear to my eye. It's so nice. The messages like what you just said. And the career. I've been so lucky. People. When we're driving to the races and we drew a lot of miles and we stopped for a bottle of lemonade or a coffee on the way, and we literally go in that shop and out the shop in 60 seconds, and then we continued the race course. Those people who serve us have to be in there for 8 to 10 hours a day, and they have to serve all sorts of people. They're the people who deserve the credit, not us. We just talk about it because it's the horses who do the work, the jockeys, the owners, the breeders, the trainers. It comes together. And for me, the best sport in the world. It's just, you can have your football, your rugby. Someone's a very good rugby player, played for Scotland, played against South Africa. And, I love all sport and football, whatever, cricket, but horses, racing, it's everything. It's everything.
Yeah.
And you can win a few quid if you back a 20-1 winner. So it has everything, and it brings together all sorts. The sheikhs, the royal family, the people who drive the buses or whatever, and we all talk. And aren't we lucky? We mix with some very important people. And by the way, I've got to mention my physio here in the UK is a South African called Dallas Newton. He's absolutely superb. He never stops talking when he's trying to mend my back, so I can't relax, but he's good. And his next door neighbor used to be, what's his name? Ormond Ferraris. That's it, Ferraris. So,
absolute legend.
It's a great connection. And also, one of my heroes is Michael Roberts, Mouse, as we used to call him. Former top jockey over here, champion trainer there. What a great man and a great family, another family. So, Mike, Mouse, if you're watching, good to talk to you.
He will definitely be watching. We're in constant contact with Michael, great man and a legend here. Now, talk about name dropping. I'm going to ask you to drop another one. As Nico knows, I was born in the UK, so we emigrated here when I was 10. But my formative years in horse racing, I don't know why, but I was attracted to the colours, the commentary, and I backed Crisp when it got beaten by Red Rum. And I don't remember it, but my mother said I went to my bedroom and wept for 2 weeks. But why I bring that up is because you became very friendly, a lifelong friend of Bob Champion, who, of course, there was a movie made with Aldeniti. That must have been, and still is, a privilege, I'm sure, that you were friendly with Bob Champion. What a story that was.
It's incredible. Bob's late father used to be the local huntsman, and that's where we learned to ride. And we'd gone to the races, red car races, a true story, when we were about 10 years old. And there was Bob, my brother, Howard, and myself. And there's the guy who used to present the racing of those days was a guy called John Rickman. He used to wear a trilby, and he used to say, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Red Car Races." And with me are three boys having a down. And he interviewed us, and he said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "I want to be a TV presenter like you." And I did. And he said to my mate, Bob Champion, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" He said, "I want to ride the winner of the Grand National." And he did. And it's just, is it crazy? But the Grand National for me is the greatest race of all time. Bob winning that after recovering from cancer, he he was dead. And he came back to win the greatest steeplechase in the world. You know, if you'd said, hey, I've got a great idea. There's a jockey who's got cancer, comes back to win this race. Don't be silly. It would never happen. It actually did. And that film, Champion, starring John Hurt, is probably the best film I think we've ever seen. And I must just tell you, at the premiere of that, while I was watching, this is a true story, the premiere, Bob, who was the man the film was all about, he'd seen the film, obviously, in the studio, but he was pushing my little baby son, Alex, round in a pram. Because we couldn't get a babysitter. So he said, don't worry, you watch the film. I'll just push Alex around for an hour and a half. I mean, what sort of guy is that? And just quickly, you mentioned Crisp against Red Rum. Crisp was going to win the 73 Grand National. And he led till the line and got caught by Red Rum. And that was my first Grand National. I was 22 years of age. I'm still the youngest ever commentator on the Grand National. And there were four of us. Michael Smith at the first fence. He would hand over to Michael O'Hare at Beaches. And then as they came round to Valentine's, over to you, Derek Thompson. And as they recrossed the Melling Road, I would hand back to Peter Bromley. And sadly, those three are no longer with us. They're at the racecourse in the sky. I still miss them. And Peter Bromley's commentary was the best commentary I've ever heard. Because when I handed back to him, Chris was 30 lengths clear. And Red Rum was slightly closing the gap. And when he said, they're coming towards the final fence now in the Grand National, this is going to be one of the most magnificent wins in the history of the steeplechase. They're coming to the elbow, and Crisp is keeping going, but he's absolutely out on his feet. And Red Rum is closing the gap on the stand side. 25 yards to run. Red Rum gets up to win the National. And Red Rum wins it. Crisp is second, and the rest don't matter. We will never see a race like that in 100 years. And he was
quickly, Nico wants to carry on, but it's amazing. We're talking now modern technology, and it happened to me. You'd appreciate this, Tommo, because what you're talking about, friends, is that a couple of years ago, through my involvement with IGN and Teletrack, I got an opportunity to contact Richard Pittman. And I then took him aside on WhatsApp. I said, Richard, you have no idea what this means to me, because I back Chris. And then just one-on-one, we had this whole chat about it. And I said to him, if you had gone to that, I think it was 73, but whenever it was, I thought I was 8. If you'd gone to that 8-year-old, let's say Nico's there, and tapped him and said, you're going to get to personally chat to this jockey, I would have said it's unbelievable. And that's why we love the game, the passion of it. So, yeah, brilliant. I'm still crying, by the way. I mean, how far clear was he? But Nico,
but he's not. He's been punting ever since then.
Yeah,
which is a problem. Which is a problem, actually. Tommo, you mentioned your brother Howard, but I noticed just a few months ago, you guys led in a winner together, a big outsider as well.
This is absolutely lovely. Yes. There's a horse called Cheerleader, and we had a share in the horse last year, and it wasn't doing very well. And my wife said, we're going to buy this and retire the horse. I said, darling, we can't afford it. You know, it's quite a bit of money. No, I'm going to buy it. All right, then. So she bought it. And we put it with my brother Howard and his partner Tina Jackson, who's a trainer. And they live near Whitby, where Captain Cook used to come from. And it's in North Yorkshire, beautiful part of the world, and good fresh air and all that. And we turned the horse out for 6 months. And then Tina said, I think we should bring this horse back into training. I think, and okay, came back. And then it won first time out at Redcar at 66-1. Yes.
Yeah.
I know what your next question is.
Did you punt it?
Yeah, how much did you have on? How much did you have on? Come on, tell us.
Howard, my brother, does the clock, and he said, this horse's gallop last week was very fast. And now it hasn't run for a year, and horses taken on to about 10 runs in the race. And it was 14-1 in the morning. It drifted out to 66-1. So I thought, well, you own a horse, you've got to have a little bet, So I had a small each way, and and I only bet in cash. I don't bet. I never bet credit, and I got a nice watch. So it was rather nice. So it was like the good old days.